Hey, this is Gabriel Padilla, aka The Little Giant. Thank you so much for tuning in to my podcast today, episode 2. We made it this far. I know it's not really that far, but I'm excited. Sometimes people get started with stuff and they don't finish. So I'm glad that I'm able to do episode 2. Welcome once again to The Little Giant. And I'm so glad that you tuned in today, because you could have just ignored this episode and go on Facebook and do other stuff, but you chose to listen to me. So I'm really happy and excited and glad that you have chosen to listen to this episode. Listen, like I always do, I want you to make sure that you follow me through social media. That's what's in now, and so we've got to stay connected. I want to connect with you. I want to know who my listeners are, and I want to know more about you. I want you to know more about me. So connect with me through social media. Instagram, IG, is Real Little Giant. Also, Facebook, same thing, Real Little Giant. And then, if you haven't checked out my website, you're so mean. No, I'm just kidding. Go to www.gabrielpadilla.net. That's G-A-B as in boy, R-I-E-L, Gabriel. And then second word, Padilla, is P-A-D, as in David, I-L-L-A.net. So that's gabrielpadilla.net. Make sure you go on there and share my stuff. That would help a brother out. Help me out. Help me spread encouragement. Help me spread motivation to people that need it. Let people know, hey, there's this little man who's 4'10", 4'11", and we'll talk about that in just a minute. A little man who has a great voice, who's an encourager, who's been through hell and high waters, but is a survivor, is an overcomer. He went above the odds. He overcame the odds because he never gave up. People need to hear that message right now, because everything else that you're hearing on TV and on the radio is like negative. It's just a whole bunch of stuff, and we need some positivity, and that's why the Little Giant is here to bring positivity and motivation and inspiration to everybody who needs it. Listen, I have a confession to make, and I know that this is only our second time together, but I do have a confession, and my confession is that I lied on episode 1. Please forgive me. What did you lie about, Little Giant? I lied about my height. I said that I was 4'11", but in reality, I'm 4'10". I know. Please don't stop listening to my show. But the reason why I say 4'11" is because when I put my sneakers on or put my shoes on, it gives me extra height. So that's why I say that I'm 4'11". But without my sneakers, without my filters and my true natural self, it's 4'10". I hope that you do not stop listening to me. Please don't. I don't care. Anyways, it was a mistake. In reality, I am 4'11" when I put my sneakers on. So 4'10 and a half. Let's go with that. Anyways, listen, I need your help. What do I need your help with? I need help because I need a name for this podcast, for this show. I keep on saying, hey, thanks for joining this podcast, but I need a name for the show. I was thinking, I'm not really good with names, but I was thinking like Real Talk with the Real Little Giant, or Real Motivation with the Real Little Giant. I was thinking Lolly Loopsy with the Little Giant. I don't know. I'm not good with this stuff. Can you help me out? Go on my, email me. How about that? Email me at reallittlegiant@gmail.com and give me some ideas. Give me something that's going to be cool, something that's going to be fresh, something that's going to be exciting for this show. I just don't want to say, hey, thanks for joining my podcast today. I want something cool. Hey, thanks for joining blah, 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 blah. Something exciting. And since you're my listeners, I need your help. So hit me up, reallittlegiant@gmail.com. Help me out, man. Help a brother out. Let me know what we can do with this show. Give me a good name. If you're not an email person, hey, hit me up on social media. I'm always on there. Check me out. Send me a private message. Comment on one of my posts or something. But help me out. All right? Well, listen, I want to go to today's show. I told you that I wrote a book called The Little Giant. It's not really the greatest. I really need to redo it. But I'm really just taking some stuff out of there, some snippets out of there to share with you, to motivate you, to encourage you. And today I want to let you know that there's some people who are just waiting for you to mess up. I know that's probably what you don't want to hear, because you think that you have a greatest fan club. But in reality, there's people that want to see you completely fail in life. Now, that's not a bad thing. because it's going to motivate you to go beyond that. And that's what today's about. There's people that get a joy at seeing you mess up, so they can say, hey, I told you so. Or they can say, hey, I knew that he would mess up, or I knew she would mess up. You know, they know that you got a promotion on the job, but you know what? They're just waiting for you to mess up to say, hey, I knew she wasn't qualified for the job, or I knew he wasn't qualified for the job. And you don't got to get upset about that. There's always people out there that don't want you to succeed, and that's all right, because you know what? They need to just stay tuned. They need to just keep on watching your life. There's a story in the Bible about a boy named David, and he's like a shepherd boy who likes to sing and tend the sheep. And you probably know the story, David and Goliath, little man, big guy. He hits him with some rocks. He hit him with a rock in reality. And so anyways, if you look at the story, there's like, if you look at the story before that, there's a man that comes to David's dad's house, while David's tending the sheep, and God brought the guy there, and he said, hey, he says to David's dad, hey, I'm here to anoint one of your kids as the king of Israel. And so the man, told him to get all the sons together. And meanwhile, little David's not even there. He's not even part of the crew. He's not even part of the team. Like, all the brothers are together, and he's like out in the field. And so as the man is going to anoint the sons, God told him, hey, do not anoint that son. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it funny how, like, in movies and shows and stuff, they always, use God's voice with a real deep voice? That's awesome. I always wanted to do that. So I'm going to do it now because this is my show and I can do it. No, do not anoint that son. And by the time he went through all the sons, the man of God, like, in my opinion, was probably, like, frustrated. I would have been frustrated because he's like, hey, God, you told me to come here to anoint these people. And every time I try to anoint somebody, you say do not anoint him. So the guy's like, hey, dude, do you have any other sons? And the father says, hey, yeah, I do have another son, but he's out tending the sheep. And so the man of God said, hey, I'm not leaving here until you get that son here because, God's not going to let me go. So anyways, when David gets to the house, the Lord told the man of God, this is the one, anoint him. Anyways, I love doing that. So David's anointed king, but you know what? It's done in secret. He's not anointed officially until later on. So in reality, Saul was still like the king legally, but God was preparing David. So anyways, David is anointed king, right? The little boy who smelled like sheep. Yeah. The little boy who was tending the sheep while everybody else was just relaxing. Yeah, David, the boy who was just playing his little harp and writing songs that would never be a hit on MTV or VH1. Yeah, David, the boy who would never be on the radio or have a podcast like me. Yeah, David, the boy who didn't have the latest musical equipment to record his music like me. I got Logic, I got Personas, I got Fostex, I got Rode microphones, I got good stuff. He didn't have all that stuff. David, your average Joe. But who would have known that David would be a survivor? God knew it. Can I tell you that you may not be in the position or the place where you should be, but you know what? You're on your way. What you're going through is preparation for where you're headed. And some of you can say, hey, I'm not where I was, nor am I where I'm supposed to be, but you know what? I'm on my way. Isn't that awesome? I love it because, you know what? Even with this show and the stuff that I'm doing, I'm not who I used to be. I'm not doing what I used to do. I'm not exactly where I am right now, but I'm on my way. I'm in the process. And so some of you feel like an expectant mother. You feel like you're stretching. When a woman's pregnant, and the baby's growing inside, it doesn't feel good. Well, I don't know because I'm not a woman, but I have a wife, and I have 4 children, and I saw the process that my wife was going through, and I saw the pain that she would go through. She's stretching, and it doesn't feel good, and she gets uncomfortable, and so some of you are like that. You're not satisfied by what you see around you. You have ideas. You have better ways of doing things. You got all this stuff inside of you, and you feel like you're being stretched. You're kind of like a bow and arrow. You know what? The further you pull back, even though it hurts, even though it's difficult, the further you can go. And God is stretching you so that you can hit the mark. Now listen, I'm one of those people now who's into Netflix and Hulu. But before there was Netflix and Hulu, oh my God, you don't know Hulu. Hulu got me, and Netflix got me too. They start you off with that free month. I did my Hulu thing, my free month, and I'm still hooked on Hulu now because Netflix doesn't have all the shows like the updated shows, but Hulu does. So I'm hooked on it. Anyways, the point is that before there was Netflix, before there was Hulu, we just had regular TV. And I remember that when I used to watch TV, that it used to, sometimes, maybe you remember, it said, stay tuned. Do you remember that phrase? It said, stay tuned. And so it's a phrase that's used on TV shows before a commercial break in order to remind us to continue watching. And so, you know what? People may not like you, but you know what? They need to stay tuned. They need to keep watching your life. They may not think you're worthy or qualified for the position, but you know what? They need to keep watching. You may not meet people's expectation, and that's all right. They need to just stay tuned. You may not have it all together right now, maybe like me. Maybe you have a messed up car. Maybe you don't have a high school diploma. Maybe you're living in a messed up apartment, or maybe you're not exactly where you want to be. Maybe you lost your job or your house, or maybe you lost everything. And that's okay, because you can tell people, stay tuned. Tell them, keep watching my life. I'm in process. I'm still en route to my purpose. You know what? Many people thought because I was short and young, and I told you in the last episode that I had a child out of wedlock. You know, I was a church boy. Yeah, and I got a girl pregnant. You know, people looked at me and said, hey, it's over for this guy. You know, he had a child out of wedlock. He's disqualified to be a pastor. But those people who said those things are looking at me now, and they're eating their words. I remember hearing those comments at those times, and I used to feel sad. I used to get discouraged. But you know what? Instead of having a pity party, I said, no, I'm going to rise up above that. I'm not going to let what they say about me keep me down. I know I have a dream. I got a talent. I got ability. I got purpose. Somebody needs to say that right now. Say, I got purpose. I don't care what they think. I don't care what they say. I have purpose. Sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, you got purpose, boy. You got purpose, girl. You got a calling on your life, and you are going to achieve your purposes and goals. You know, one time I was preaching at a retreat one time, and a man who knew me, when I was a kid, he made a comment. He said, I knew the calling that was upon Gabriel's life, but to actually see it come to pass is amazing. And I remember I said out loud, I said, yup, thank you for staying tuned to my life. You know what? Let people keep throwing those bricks of criticism. Let them say what they want to say. You're going to use those things to lay a firm foundation so that you can reach your purpose. You know what? People always will have something negative to say. I've learned that. I told you that. But don't allow what people say or think about you keep you down. Use their criticism to push you to your purpose. Don't get mad at them. They're going to wish they kept your phone number. They're going to wish they didn't delete you off of Facebook. Get ready. Those people that deleted you, they're going to start requesting you back. They're going to start looking for you. They're going to start asking you for money. Hey, give me opportunity. Hire me. You know what? They wish they would have treated you better. But you know what? Stay tuned. They don't realize you might be the next business owner. They don't realize you might be the next president and CEO of a corporation. You might be the next you may be the next inventor or educator. You might be the next book writer or motivational speaker. Or maybe you'll be like me and have a podcast. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your goals. You got purpose. You got purpose. I want to leave you with 3 questions, and I'm going to get you out of here. Number 1, how do you think your past and present experiences will help you to achieve your future objectives? How do you think your past and present experiences will help you achieve your future objectives? Number 2, what can you do now to stay motivated and encouraged to meet your objectives? Listen, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take some time in one of these future podcasts, and I'm going to talk about being motivated and encouraged. Because you know what? There's been so many times that I've been discouraged, and a lot of times we need help with encouragement, and that's what this show is all about. And I'm going to take a time of ways to stay motivated. Number 3, in the process of reaching your dreams and goals, how can you respond to negativity, criticism, and discouragement? Anytime you're going somewhere, anytime you do something, anytime you step out the boat, anytime you step into uncharted waters, you know what? You're going to experience negativity. You're going to experience criticism, and you're going to experience discouragement. And it's usually from people that stay on the boat. It's usually from people that ain't going nowhere or ain't doing anything. I know ain't a word, but I'm going to use it anyway because this is my show. There's going to be people, anytime you step out and do something different, they're going to have something to say. Why? Because they're afraid of doing, and they think because they fail that you are going to fail. But you know what? You're going to prove people wrong. So how can you respond to negativity? How can you respond to criticism and discouragement? You don't have to delete everybody off your Facebook, but you can smile in people's face and say, you know what? Stay tuned. I'm going to help you guys with that as well. You got to stay motivated. One thing I've learned living in Florida is that we have what's called hurricane season. And when it's hurricane season, it seems like it's all season. It seems like it's forever. But in reality, I've learned that hurricane season only lasts for a temporary time. Seasons only last for a temporary time. They have 90 days. Seasons last 90 days. I'm here to tell you that you may be going through a time or a season of negativity, criticism, and hopelessness and worthlessness and whatever you want to call it. But you know what? It's only a season. It's only a season, 90 days. But you got to stay motivated in that. Like I said, hurricane season, I get upset because, hey, why is it raining? It's Florida. Why is it thundering? It's Florida. Why is it cold? It's Florida. I want the sun to come out. And so sometimes in the meantime, I just have to hold on until summer, until the hurricane season passes through. And that's what you got to do. Maybe you're going through a rough season in your life. Maybe you're going through a difficult time in your life. Maybe you're feeling discouraged. Maybe you're feeling frustrated, stressed out. Maybe things are not going as planned. You got to stay encouraged and know that people will say what they want to say.